everybody, and welcome to our next episode of Career Chats. This is the second one of our recent revival of the series, and this time we have Rebeka of the gameHERs. Rebeka, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, to everybody who's watching that is a DePaul student, we do have a check-in link down in the bottom right corner of the stream right here. You can see the little QR code over there. Make sure you check yourself in. Helps us a lot when we're able to track attendance, see what kind of people are interested in events and live streams of this sort. And who knows, some of these events, you just might be entered to win a really neat prize. So really doesn't hurt you to check yourself in. Make sure you get that spot reserved just in case. And with that said, I think we're pretty much ready to kick things off. So Rebeka, tell us all about yourself and how about, how you got involved with the gaming and esports industry.
Sure. So I'm Rebeka Wellmon, and I am the social media and communications manager for the gameHERs, which is a woman-led gaming company. And I got involved in esports originally from traditional sports, actually. So I did my undergrad degree at Clemson, and I focused on communications and English. I went to grad school as well for communications, and then I moved into working in the sports industry after doing some internships in the sports field. And while I was working actually at the Patriots, they had an esports team called the Boston Uprising, which is an Overwatch team. And so I got to get involved with some of the esports experience that way. And I ended up liking it so much. I've been a gamer my whole life, so that was really a passion for me and something that wasn't really a total part of my job, but something that I wanted to be more of my job. So I then left and started working at an esports organization, and then I quickly moved into being with the gameHERs. So that's a little bit about the path.
Yeah, that's great. So it was much more so of would you say it was something like of a chance happening that you were able to like really shift your focuses towards esports, or was there like would you say there was like a moment when you decided that you really wanted to work in the industry?
I always thought I wanted to be in traditional sports forever. So it was kind of a moment working there that I really realized how much esports was just like the biggest passion for me. So I always loved gaming though. So I knew that that was like something I do in my spare time. And I even did some graduate degree work on the esports field and communications field and how those kind of intertwine. So it was more like I just wanted to be in that space, but I was like typically sticking with traditional sports. But yeah, when I had the opportunity to be in esports, I was like, this is definitely the place for me. So
Right. So you said you've always been a gamer for pretty much your entire life. It's
yeah.
always been like always been a favorite pastime of yours, as it is with a lot of us, I'm sure, that
Yeah.
are interested in contributing something to the field, to the community in some way, shape, or form. So there's definitely I think a point where we all realize that like there's something more you could do
Yeah.
with the gaming and like esports industry is like a career of sorts if you want to go there, or just like working with it in general, like doing more community focused work. So when did you learn about the gaming and esports world as an industry as opposed to just like a pastime? Like, was there a way of
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really like a topic that you could focus on in school as much at the time. Now there are more programs for esports and different educational opportunities for that. But at the time, it was more just seeing those industries grow and seeing how much attention and traction they were getting in the field made it seem more realistic, I guess, as an opportunity, just more accessible in a way, because it's typically difficult to get into the sports field, but I actually feel like it's easier to get involved in the esports and gaming fields.
oh, that's actually a really interesting perspective on it, because I guess from like the outside looking in, it's really easy for a lot of people to
Yeah,
be like, "Oh, the esports is such a volatile industry. Oh, everything's changing like this and that," and it makes it seem very intimidating to get more
yeah,
involved
it
in,
does
even on the
seem intimidating for sure.
yeah. But I think it's good to, I think it's really interesting to hear that in some ways it's actually you know easier to be involved compared to like the alternative. So
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of opportunities to get involved with internships and to even start your own like content and just to do whatever you want with that. And so it's just a really, I find it to be a very like accepting place, and you can be involved in the communities in any way that you really want to, and you can, you know, make your own content from there, or you can get involved with an organization a little bit differently. But it's a lot easier to go out and make your own YouTube channel than it is to like become a professional sports player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think you have a lot of really good points. There's a lot of like, I guess you could say there's a good like variety and opportunities you can do as to kind of like promote your own like personal brand, or at the
Right.
very least be a little bit more self-made.
Yeah,
Especially
for
the
sure.
advent of like you're saying, like content creation, Twitch streaming, making a YouTube channel. There's a lot of other ways you can do
Hmm.
it without needing to like really jump into like a company like position or like something like that. So yeah, I think those are really good points. I think it's definitely kind of undersold again to like people that are like from the outside looking in.
Yeah, totally. And there's so much more to esports than just like being a professional gamer. There's
Yeah.
like the marketing behind it and all of that that people tend to overlook, but they're really growing fields. Then there's a lot of jobs even during times of COVID and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's nice to see the industry continue to grow, even when other industries were really impacted.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, to everybody who's watching, if you do have any extra questions for Rebeka, or even for me, if you are really curious, feel free to just drop them in the chat, whichever you're watching the stream on, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, or on Facebook. Feel free to just drop the comment below, and we'll be sure to talk about any questions you have at the end of the stream here. But in the meantime, let's start talking a little bit about more about stuff that you do right now, specifically stuff with the
Yeah.
gameHERs. So what would you say are some of the basic things that you and the gameHERs overall do in order to amplify the voices and roles of women, femme-identifying gamers, and non-binary gamers in the gaming industry and community? Maybe just like a brief primer to those who aren't
Yeah.
aware of the gameHERs right now.
Well, the gameHERs are a media platform and a social networking community for women, non-binary persons, and marginalized genders that game or work in the gaming industry. Um, it's an interesting fact that of the billions of gamers in the world, actually half of them are proven to be women, despite the representation in esports or the gaming industry. So a lot of women experience harassment from that or hate or toxicity because of that. And the gameHERs really wanted to create a place that honored and celebrated and amplified women in that space. Our co-founders have really colorful backgrounds. They bring a lot of different life experiences and skills together, as well as the other members of our team. And they just wanted to have a really great space that only celebrated women for everything that they've been doing and all the hard work that they've been doing in the space.
Yeah, it's really great to see that there's more resources that are coming up to like empower these groups of people, that because there's always been that kind of like, I don't know if stigma is quite the word you would use for it, but there's definitely been like a sense of
Yeah.
judgment that comes in like from outside of the industry and even from within the industry on like what exactly like the gaming community is supposed to be like, or like what it's supposed to look like. So it's really great to see these
Yeah.
resources come up.
The gameHERs made an award show last year, and we actually just opened nominations up for our second award show, and that's just called the gameHERs Awards. And what I really love about the awards is that they are just a complete positivity moment for our timelines that we really need right now. Especially during COVID last year, my timeline and everybody else's was just really depressing and terrifying at times. And so it was a great refresh to have the awards just say, hey, this is all the awesome women that have done a lot of great work this year, and this is how we can just empower and celebrate them. And I never had so much positivity on a timeline in my entire life than when I was scrolling through my phone during the awards last year. So I'm really excited about seeing that this year as well.
Yeah, that's really great. So that's really great to see that there's like all this there's all this variety in terms of like what you all are able to do and like what you all have coming next to accomplish all of your goals. So like for the sake of the upcoming award show, is there something that people could do to kind of get involved right now if they wanted to, because I know that the awards, the gameHERs Awards for 2021 is it's like, would you say it's like ongoing, upcoming, or like what's the current status on that?
The nomination period is now open, and during that time, you can nominate exceptional women gamers that you know on our webpage for a variety of different awards, from gaming to esports to, I mean, there's like so many categories, I can't even list them all. But it's an awesome way to even show games that you appreciate that are made by women, and you can nominate them for the awards, and then after the nomination period closes, we open up voting for all the different nominees, and then we have a finalist round of voting. And it ends with an award show where we have the winners accept the awards live on Twitch. And last year it was on the front page of Twitch, so that was really exciting for us. And we received over 600 nominees, and we had 75,000 votes in just a short few weeks. So that was incredible.
Yeah, wow, that's definitely a really strong way to like kick off such like a
Yeah, the
award
first
ceremony like
award
that.
show ever. It was like a really great success, and so I can't wait to see how big it can get this year.
Yeah, definitely. Here's hoping for, bigger and better things for this year and moving
Yeah.
forward. That's a really great start. So very, very exciting stuff. Speaking of which, I hear that there's also a gameHERs app coming out soon. I know that you have a little bit of
Yes.
information about it on the gameHERs website, but is there any details you wanted to share about it right now?
Just that the app is going to really highlight that safe space and place without toxicity for women, non-binary, and any marginalized genders. Anyone can join the app, and they have to abide by a code of conduct, and anyone who violates the code of conduct can no longer use the app. So it's going to really give people that space that they have been asking for, while esports and gaming kind of catch up and include women more, which we'd really love to see. But I really think this is going to be like an awesome way for women to connect with each other, especially during these times where we can't always go out and hang out with our friends anymore. And it's sometimes just really refreshing to go and game with another woman, coming from a woman that games. So it's I actually used the gameHERs Discord community before to find women to game with and just play with before I even started working there. And I thought it was really awesome. You can just ping people to play different games and just really connect with them and talk about whatever you want. So the app is just going to be a way bigger version of that. And will allow you to meet people on the platform you want and at the level that you want, so you can play comp together, and just have a great time with no trolling.
Yeah, that's really great. I really like that there's
Yeah.
like a governing system set in place. It really makes it feel
Yeah.
like a much more inclusive like form of like communication and like connection between these groups of people that in some cases really need it the most. So it's really great to see that this is like right on the horizon, that this is something that a lot of people can really look forward to.
Yeah, we are hoping to launch that by, I believe, spring this year. So we have, I think, still open the beta test applications for people that want to test out the app, which is on our website. But if that is closed, then we'll just have the beta test, and then the app will launch itself right after that. So either way, the app will be here soon. So it's really exciting for everyone. I've seen a lot of different people comment on Twitter and say how much they're excited for the app. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, of course, if anybody does want to go check it out, the URL for the gameHERs website is right down below. You can just go ahead and type that in your web browser. Although you can also just go ahead and go into a web search and type in the gameHERs. I know it's the first option that comes up in case you are just that little bit extra bit lazy. You don't want to type out the whole thing into the URL bar up there. So once again, like if you are a DePaul student, make sure you go ahead and check into the event right here. It helps us a lot so that we get a little bit more information on what kind of people are interested in attending events or live streams of the sort as we move into fall quarter. There's a lot of really exciting things up on the horizon. So the more information that we can get, the better events we can make for all of you. So let's talk a little bit more about the gaming industry and esports industry as a whole for a little bit here. So what's something that you wish you would have known about gaming and esports before you entered the field? I know that you said a little bit earlier in the stream that you came in from more of like a physical sports background. What would you say is something that you wish you knew before you kind of shifted gears a little bit?
Yeah, kind of along the same lines. Coming from traditional sports, it just surprised me how much of an interactive space gaming and esports are. As like a gamer, you felt that, but coming from a industry side, it's just it was surprising to me that you can, message a player on Discord or watch them on Twitch and talk to them. Like you can't really talk to a professional NFL player whenever they stream or that isn't really a thing right now. You can't watch them practice and ask them questions while they practice. So I really liked that aspect of it. And alongside that, um, just that you can interact with the fans in different games and bases so is easily. Like with Discord and YouTube, you can really get a sense for what the community is feeling. And as good and bad as that is, it's like there for you and to help you with the industry and just make improvements.
Right. It's just like another. There's a lot of resources out the gate for like interconnectivity and between like all reaches of the industry, like you were saying, not only amongst like players and not only amongst like casual players, but also like even the top of the line professional players, which
Yeah.
like that's a really good point. You don't really get that as much with a lot of like football athletes, for instance. So
Yeah, for sure. It was nice that the players like do that because you can just feel better connected to a team. And so you can play in a little bit more to that with the content that you put out, which is a lot more fun to get to know them and to get to interact with them more for content purposes.
right, absolutely. So how would you say that the gaming and esports industry has adapted or changed as a result of the ongoing pandemic that we've recently been experiencing? And how would you say things are going to continue to like? How would you say things would like continue to adapt? I guess you could say as
Yeah.
a lot of esports start to slowly shift into in-person events.
COVID really showed that esports and gaming are only going to get bigger. That they were big before COVID, but then when traditional sports that relied on in-person events were like shutting down, gaming was really used to being solely online. So their in-person events stopped, but gaming didn't stop. It just continued virtually. And there was no real adaptation. It was just like, okay, no in-person events. So they didn't really have to refigure out everything about their whole brand. But COVID, I thought also on like a more personal level, it just showed how important gaming was for building relationships, maintaining friendships, and just enriching people's lives in general. A lot of people really relied on gaming for that escape and to raise their spirits and really connect with the people that you can't connect with in person. So with
Yeah.
people like myself, built a PC during COVID and like got a little more involved with just different friends online that you never really got to play with as much. So, or learned a new game, stuff like that. So it was really nice to see the gaming community really come together during that time and like help each other out.
Yeah, I definitely think that definitely hits the home for me as well. Over the course of the
Yeah,
past year, I've been able to interact with a lot of people I never really got the chance to prior to
totally.
everything happening. Even people that resided within Chicago, there was like a lot of people that like I was aware existed. Like I was like, oh yeah, I know that person. I've seen them like once or twice at such and such event, and now it's like I talk to them like every other day. It's like
Right.
just because we have like this common interest that we could still pursue over despite the changes and like we have to be staying indoors a little bit more. We can't have like these large gatherings. It
Yeah.
becomes, I guess you could say, a little bit more personal. A lot of these interactions, it's not so much like you're not so. I guess for me at least, it's never been like you're not just like a small fish in a giant pond of like a giant LAN event or something like that.
Yeah.
It becomes like, yeah, you can interact a little bit more personally with a lot of people nowadays. So it's definitely a really exciting thing to see that, like, despite such drastic changes, gaming's been able to hold up
Right.
itself, even if the execution itself is a little bit different. The concept still remains the same, and that's really great to see.
Yeah, I definitely miss like big events like
Yeah,
PAX East and stuff like that, but it's those like personal times with your friends the past like year or so that really made an impact on me and them too. So
yeah, absolutely. So, looking ahead a little bit more now that we've seen like
mhm.
how the gaming industry can adapt to like such a you know, like I was saying, like such a drastic change and how things have to be carried out and like how such big events have to be carried out. What are some of the major developments that you see in the gaming and esports industry happening within the next 5 years?
In general, I just really expect to see more representation of women in esports and gaming. Uh, Definitely within the next 5 years, but I just hope that that's hopefully immediate. Like, I just want to see it like right now. And the awards kind of gave us a little taste of that. And people were so excited to see more recognizing women. And so for the esports and gaming industries in general, even though like half the gamers we talked about were women, it's just unusual to see a professional uh, woman player on an esports team. And with things like the gameHERs collegiate division that we launched this year, we're trying to get more women involved from the beginning so that we can have more representation. I'd love to see like more women playing games professionally. That would be awesome. The few that I know are so amazing, and I just want more people to have that opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's definitely something that the esports industry, there's a lot of corners that have really tried to like, make a push to make these kind of changes happen. It really is just a matter of, actually getting things moving and like
Yeah.
really pushing things more towards the center of attention, I guess you could say, rather than just staying isolated in these pockets in the corner of the room, if you want to put it that way. So
Yeah, I'm really glad the gamers are leading that charge and
yeah,
starting in collegiate and then moving on to different other places because I just really want to see women kind of take over those gaming and esports spaces so that it feels the way that it actually is. It's like it's 50% women and 50% men, and there's non-binary people included. I just want to see them, so it'd be great.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So we're starting to wrap up here, but before we start to close things down, what's a piece of advice you have for DePaul students looking to go into gaming and esports?
Being a self-starter, being really self-motivated is really important. Just because a lot of the work is remote, so you need to be able to set your own schedule and make those things work without being in an office setting. Um, Even if you do go into an office, I just think the industry in general really responds well to people taking that extra initiative. But I think my best piece of advice is to just educate yourself on the gaming and esports industries. You can join different communities in Discord. You can follow like gaming topics on Twitter or watch videos online. Just listen and take note of what's happening and what people are saying, and then get involved in any way that you possibly can. You can apply for things on Hitmarker or internships or anything of the like, or start content like we were talking about. And you can even make a presentation for a company you want to work for and send it to them. That's the kind of like thing I love about the gaming industry. I actually just received a graphic designer's portfolio on Twitter the other day, and I thought it was amazing. So that's something that I don't see as much in different industries. So you really can pitch yourself for the job that you want and make it happen.
Yeah, I think those were honestly all really great words. I really hope that anybody who didn't get the full picture there that might have just like hopped in, I really hope you go back to the replay, which will be on our YouTube channel, by the way. Go ahead and check that out again, because again, that was all really, really great advice. And on that note, we
Awesome.
are just about to wrap up here. That's all the questions that I have for Rebeka here. But we did have one quick question from somebody in Twitch chat here asking if there are any competitive games or like esports titles that you've been interested in playing lately.
Oh, I've been like way into Minecraft. It's like a problem at this point. I play some Rocket League too. Final Fantasy 14.
Ooh, nice.
Um, yeah, those are the top three right now.
Nice. That's a very busy selection of games. Especially
Yeah, well, I have different friends with different interests. So like some people want, the fast-paced game. I like
right.
to just be creative in Minecraft sometimes by myself, and then yeah, more team-based games, Final Fantasy. So a little bit of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, well, again,
Cool.
yeah, thank you so much for coming by today. Once again, if anybody is interested in following to see what's coming up next for the gameHERs, like you said, the gameHERs Awards 2021 nominations are up, correct?
Yeah. They're up. You can nominate exceptional women right now, and every nomination is accepted, and they are sent an email to accept that. So it's just a really awesome space. It doesn't have to be a big person on the internet to get nominated. You can nominate your friend with 2 followers, and they're still considered for this. So it's an awesome way to just show some people some love in the industry.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm glad that you pointed that out. I'm glad you pointed that out. That it doesn't need to be like
Yeah,
a
it's totally
superstar
anybody.
influencer. Yeah, literally anybody. That's great to know.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out. And then finally, if you did want to follow the gameHERs, they could find you all on Twitter, correct?
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything's the gameHERs.
Okay, perfect. So the gameHERs. Everybody make sure you remember that. Type it into your favorite social media platform. Most likely they'll be able to find you.
Yeah, it's the first one that pops up.
All
And
right.
I manage social media and stuff, so I'll love to see you guys there.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. Well, Rebeka, thank you once again so much for coming by today. I really think this is a great session for us, for not just the people watching, but also for me myself to learn a little bit more about what the gameHERS is all about, learn a little bit more about your involvement in the esports industry, how you came to understand things, as well as some honestly really great points of advice. So, to everybody
Thanks.
watching, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully, we will see you all sometime pretty soon. I know that we did have a gap week between the last careers chats event and this one. It's actually because I was in the middle of an apartment move. Because as you could tell, if you've been paying close attention, I'm in a slightly different room as I was before. So hopefully these will be coming back a little bit more regularly. I know we have at least a couple more on the horizon, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled. So once again, Rebeka, thanks so much for coming by.
Yeah,
I really hope you
no,
have a
thank
great
you so
day.
much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything else you'd like to say to the stream real quick before we close out?
Just thanks for watching, and really want to see you guys nominate some women for the awards.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you all so much for watching once again, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.